In the decades following World War II, architecture in Eastern Europe underwent a radical transformation, guided not only by necessity but by ideology. Under the umbrella of Socialist Modernism, countries within the Communist Bloc embarked on an ambitious architectural campaign aimed at expressing the values of a new political and social order. Functionality, scale, and permanence were paramount, and the aesthetic that emerged particularly through the widespread use of brutalism reflected a fusion of utopian intent and industrial pragmatism. Socialist modernism was not a unified style, but a state-directed movement that adapted to local contexts while remaining rooted in the broader goals of the socialist state. It was influenced by the international style and the principles of modernism, which emphasized rationality, clean lines, and the rejection of ornamentation. However, within the Eastern Bloc, these principles were reinterpreted to serve the collective vision of socialist society. Architecture was meant to inspire civic pride, demonstrate technological progress, and assert ideological dominance over both the past and the capitalist West. Brutalism, often used in tandem with socialist modernism, played a central role in shaping the urban landscape. Derived from the French term béton brut raw concrete, brutalist architecture favored monolithic structures, exposed materials, and bold geometric compositions. Concrete became the material of choice, not only for its low cost and availability, but also for its symbolic weight. It conveyed strength, durability, and a break from the traditional architectural vocabulary associated with imperial or bourgeois regimes across cities such as Belgrade, Sofia, East Berlin, Moscow, Minsk, and Kiev. Large-scale housing blocks, cultural centers, factories, and monuments began to rise. These structures were often designed by state-appointed architects, working within bureaucratic planning systems that emphasized uniformity and mass production. Yet, despite these constraints, regional expressions and experimentation persisted. In some countries, architects incorporated folkloric patterns, sculptural facades, or avant-garde structural techniques, blending local identity with ideological messaging. The scale of construction was immense. Entire neighborhoods were built from prefabricated concrete panels, often assembled on-site using Soviet-engineered systems. These microrayons self-contained. Residential districts were designed to provide not only housing but also schools, clinics, and communal spaces, reflecting the socialist belief in planned, collective life. Meanwhile, civic buildings such as ministries, theaters, and memorials adopted exaggerated proportions and dramatic forms, aiming to project authority and permanence. With the fall of the Soviet Union and the dissolution of the Eastern Bloc, many of these buildings fell into disrepair or were demolished altogether. For years, they were dismissed as relics of a failed ideology, ugly, oppressive, and outdated. Today, however, a growing appreciation has emerged for the architectural legacy of socialist modernism. Scholars, photographers, and architects are revisiting these structures with new eyes, recognizing them not only as historical documents, but as ambitious, often visionary works of design. In Serbia, Božidar Jankovic was a representative of the so-called Belgrade School of Residence, identifiable by its functionalist relations on the basis of the flat and elaborated in detail the architecture. Known example: Western City Gate, also known as the Genex Tower, is a 36-story skyscraper in Belgrade, Serbia, which was designed in 1977 by Mihailo Mitrovic. It is formed by two towers connected with a 2-story bridge and revolving restaurant at the top. It is 117 meters 384 feet tall with restaurant, 135 to 140 meters 443 to 459 feet, and is the second tallest high-rise in Belgrade after UX Tower. The building was designed in the Brutalist style with some elements of structuralism and constructivism. It is considered a prime representative of the Brutalist architecture in Serbia, and one of the best of its style built in the 1960s and the 1970s in the world. Please subscribe this channel.